start. They want you to start with a big smile, and then could you just say your name and where you work?
Hi, I'm Bradley Jacobs, and I work at Spectrum Designs.
And if you don't mind, would you want to disclose your disability and what accommodations you have for that?
I have a rare genetic disability that is called Jansen de Vries Syndrome that was discovered in 2017, and it encompasses many disabilities, but the majority is anxiety, ADHD. Um, and I am a production assistant part-time, and I get Nicholas Center support.
So, to start, can you tell us the biggest struggle that you've encountered when you first began to enter the workforce?
When I first began to enter the workforce, my biggest struggle was anxiety. It was limiting my potential and realizing now that it's something that I can learn from and grow from, and it has helped me become where I am now.
And can you tell us a little bit more about overcoming the anxiety? Like, how do you learn to do that, and what
I think
techniques do you
it's
use?
the thought process is basically like when I was working, I would get so overwhelmed and not realize, oh, this is really easy. I just need to communicate. And so communication in the workplace is so important and so vital, especially at a place that celebrates many individuals with abilities. And I think being able to recognize that from square one, that was my weakness, now being able to have that confidence and gain confidence, being able to overcome something that was chaining me and not being able to have that strength. And now I have the strength.
So, tell us a little bit about your current job. Like, what do you do day to day?
Day to day at Spectrum Designs, Pleasantville, it varies from day to day. They could have me in embroidery, they could have me cleaning screens, they could have me making boxes, packing out orders. It all depends on what the supply and what my job wants me to do.
And how did you gain the confidence and the skills to do the job?
By having those things that happen, like mistakes made in order to grow, I was able to learn effectively and trained really well by realizing what's good for me can help me and also could help others. So being able to, know what my weaknesses and being able to pinpoint what I'm not good at, but slowly gaining the confidence to be good at those different job skills.
And how did you get your job at Spectrum?
I'm one of the founding families, so getting the job was I had to apply. A lot of stuff had to happen in order to get the job. So my family was really integral in helping me find the job. And so being able to be accepted and then volunteering and then working really hard until Spectrum realized that then they employed me.
And what is your process when you encounter an obstacle?
My process is to not to overthink and to really communicate when I'm feeling overwhelmed and being able to realize that, hey, this is really easy, and not letting that process affect me mentally.
And now you are supported by the Nicholas Center. So can you tell us a little bit about things that the Nicholas Center staff do to help support you?
Basically communicate, and basically they do a lot of work. Like they will help me if I'm having a difficult time or if I need really more assistance. They will be a little bit more hands-on with, and if I have questions, they can help answer. They're there to be, helpful and guide any individual. If any individual is having a hard time, the beautiful thing about Spectrum is that everybody's doing things at their own pace, and I feel like it's one of the most magical places on earth for people to work with disabilities or not.
And what are you most proud of regarding your job?
I think the pride. I think being able to have this passion, wake up every morning, having that fulfilling feeling that, I'm not at a grocery store. I'm at a place where everybody's accepting. I love my work. I think this place is just the best place on earth again. I think that Spectrum is just one of the most beautiful places, and I think thinking back that when I started, I feel very, grateful and humble that, Spectrum is there to help people, because there are many families in different states around the world that will love to have this for their child or a young individual. And I think being able to be in this beautiful environment and watch it grow, and I think it's very fulfilling.
This isn't on the list, but I'm just gonna throw it in. So if you, I know that. So we know that you have like your own business, like making jewelry.
hmm
So can you describe a little bit about that, and then also describe how like the confidence you gained from Spectrum and the Nicholas Center helped you to be able to do that?
So I have a jewelry business, and I think being able to have the confidence to network and to help community build has gotten me so confident that, like yesterday, my stuff was in a mall now, in a store, and having that networking ability is because of having that confidence from Spectrum has taught me the value. And also going to Nicholas Center, does they do different programs. So they had one which was active listening, and because of the that program has taught me not only to communicate better, to be a friend, to stick out for people, to, if there's a problem at the job, say something. And I think that's the really beautiful thing is that, you know, as from my mom has so told me, she watched me grow. I'm more social than any one of my family members, and I think that's because of Nicholas Center and Spectrum hand in hand. And that's really boosted my confidence. Like working in embroidery has helped me with uh blah. Working in embroidery has helped me with attention to detail, and having that outlook has really helped me with my jewelry as well.
And what is the most fun part of your job?
Every day. I think there's always something going on at Spectrum. I think you could walk in and there's something crazy happening going on, but that's beautiful. That's life. That's where the mix of, I think purpose plays a role. If we all think differently, and I think from a different perspective, it makes this job great because everybody thinks differently. So it's like, if there's one problem, there's an individual who might think a certain way that could fix that problem.
And now, when you have a job interview, what tricks do you have to keep calm?
I think don't overthink. I think you're there to, by being yourself is the most beautiful thing. And I think my tricks to stay calm is I like to think ahead. I like to think of the questions. So what I will do is I will read the night before. I will look at practice mock interviews. I will, really train myself. So then when they ask, like, if you see yourself 4 and 5 years, where you see yourself in the company? And I would say, like, I wouldn't know what to say at that point, because I think the beautiful thing about interviews is that, like Spectrum, they value everybody. So I think the beautiful thing about Spectrum is that when you're authentically yourself and they know you're authentically yourself, then it's better. I don't know. But
And now Spectrum does have a little bit of a different interview process compared to a lot of places.
yeah.
So do you want to talk a bit about that? How like you were a volunteer and get hands-on experience?
So with the Nicholas Center, anyone that comes to Spectrum volunteers first. So the beautiful thing about that, hand in hand, is that once like the head staff can see that you can do the job, and once you show that you can do the work without help from the Nicholas Center, but they're still there obviously if you need help, then you can, once you like understand like what goals need to be met, what you need to do, then they'll hire eventually. It's different from everybody, but for me specifically, I volunteered, I wore an apron, and I thought originally I thought I knew everything, but I ended up not knowing everything, and so I had to learn everything, and so it took time, and I was really excited, but I didn't let my confidence get in the way of knowing what to do. I learned what I need to do in the workplace in order to get hired, and I think by showing up and working and really showing commitment to the job and always be willing to learn. Like one of the biggest things I did was I was so anxious when I was working in the doing like embroidery in the middle of a job, and they would call me to move me somewhere else. And then now I'm just happy to move. But I think that change gave me anxiety of working in one place and then being told to go somewhere else caused me anxiety, and then now it doesn't because I've learned it's what they need, what Spectrum needs. And so I think that's for me was the difference in the game changer was that the willing to accept myself and willing to just do what they tell me to do.
And this is a fun one. If you could have one superpower to use at work, what would it be?
I think to clone myself because the more me would get so much work done. And people say that, oh, I wish we had more of you because it's the idea that, I feel like I'm always working. If it's not at work, I'm still working and networking and making those connections for Spectrum, my jewelry business. And I think being able to be a leader and a role model and an inspirational light has really has helped me gain the confidence in myself that it made me believe that, oh, if I can do it, others can do it. So by me, really being inspirational to myself has really shown me that, this is a community. I love this community. And I think the world would be so much better if there was more Spectrums in the world. And I hope there will be someday.
And is there anything else you want to add?
I think people that are looking should definitely look at the website. It's spectrumdesigns.org. And I think those who are wanting to, reach out, please reach out. Again, spectrumdesigns.org.